You seem to think like it was a big weekend.
Man, I don't know how you don't think it was a big weekend. There was fights from Thursday to Saturday, all day Saturday.
There was just none of my favorites or anything special, I think, for me. That's all.
I mean, I was definitely disappointed with the Bellator fight. That I expected more out of it. But other than that, I think the weekend it was definitely worth the delay for the Usyk fight, and Tank stepping up was sweet. Silva, it is what it is. We knew it was coming, but I thought it was worth the wait. It was good.
Well, let's jump right into the Bellator. Lima versus Visasi. You thought Lima was going to beat him.
Put my money where my mouth is. You know, I've been riding Lima's nuts since before the Grand Prix started last year. And I've been trying to tell everyone that would listen, I think it should be a conversation for top 2 welterweights on the planet. I mean, this was at middleweight, so I don't think this can take away from what he done at welterweight, but he didn't perform the way I thought he was going to.
No, he actually looked pretty big, too, at middleweight. Like, he looked decently sized, too. He didn't look small. At least he didn't get destroyed like Rory McDonald. Like, he still held his own.
Right, and he definitely won the 5th round, and the 4th round, I thought he won that as well. So, in my opinion, it was 3 rounds to 2. It wasn't a starching. Visasi kind of did enough to win. The first round, he really showed that, welcome to middleweight. He took him down, did some good ground pound. But after that, it was basically just kind of like just did enough to win. And Lima couldn't find the right counter opportunities. He was a little bit hesitant because he didn't want to throw something and overextend and get taken down like he did in the first round. I think if he ran it back, you would see a different Lima. If you look at his rematches, he's done a lot better. If you look at the McDonald rematch, and I think his name's Shlemenko. Who's the Russian cat?
Andrei Korshakov.
He lost the first fight, and he beat him twice after that.
Yeah, he does better in rematches, but I don't think anyone's going to be parading to see a rematch of that fight.
No. So after that fight, I think you see Douglas go back down to welterweight and take on MVP. What do you think?
I think he fights Lorenz Larkin next.
Larkin, okay. I think he hasn't fought Larkin yet, has he?
Yeah, he don't miss.
Okay. And then I think we see Gegard will go up to 205. I think the Nemkov fight makes sense.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. Not a good fight for Gegard, but...
Why is it not a good fight for Gegard? Gegard's fought heavyweights before.
I know. That Adams is just a different beast, that's all. He's just a different animal.
But I told you that before the Bader fight, and you didn't believe me that Vadim Nemkov was a monster.
No, I knew he was a monster. I just didn't think he'd be Bader.
I picked it. I put money on it. He won me money. So shout out to Fedor's protege, winning me money. Douglas Lima didn't win me money this weekend. I think it's the only fight that makes sense because if you look at what Bellator has at that in and around 170 to 205, Lyoto Machida potentially for the trilogy fight, but is anybody really clamoring for a trilogy? No, their second fight was kind of boring. That's really it, man. Vadim Nemkov is Corey Anderson, but Corey Anderson fights this Thursday. So maybe we see that fight, and then we see that. I don't know. I just think that the Nemkov-Mousasi fight makes sense, especially because he's been fighting a lot of weights. It's time for him to move up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that being said, we also had some big boxing this week.
So you had the undisputed cruiserweight champion, Alexander Usyk, taking on British tough guy, Del Boy Derek Chisora. What did you think about the fight?
I thought Chisora was winning the first couple rounds, but I could see he was just throwing and not really giving a shit. I was like, what are you doing? He used up all his energy and just got beat up the rest of the fight. So it was a really bad game plan from Chisora.
So I think you could make a really, really hipster argument that Chisora could have won the first 5. I don't think he won the first 5, but he could have won the first 5. And there's an argument he could have won the 11th. I believe it was the 11th round. So let's say he wins those 5 and that one. That's 6 rounds. It's a hipster argument for a draw. I don't think it was a draw. I had Usyk by 1 or 2 rounds. I think that was the right score. 2 judges had it 115, 113. I thought that was a little bit close. But still, I think the right man won. Chisora came to fight. He worked too much early, though. He was trying to get him out. He didn't pace himself at all. If he was going to go for goals like that, I think it should have been a little bit more effective aggression, not just like throwing shots to throw shots.
Yeah, I thought he wasted way too much energy in the beginning of the fight.
completely agree. But that being said, we saw Usyk is vulnerable to a big heavyweight that is durable.
For sure. Do you think? So, what do you see next for Usyk?
I like the Wilder fight.
There's a huge size difference there, isn't there?
In height, yes, but Wilder weighed about 215, 220, and Usyk's right on 215, 220. That's where he's getting at. It'd be interesting because Usyk wouldn't be getting bullied around the ring by a guy much thicker than him. But if he gets hit the way that Chisora hit him by Wilder, it's over. That's all she wrote.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible that fight could happen, though?
I don't think Wilder would take the risk. I think we're more than likely going to see Usyk versus the winner of Povetkin White or Andy Ruiz. I think those would be the options you would see him take on.
And do you think that he will fight AJ, though?
Yes, I think AJ can beat Pulev, and then he will probably vacate the WBO title because he doesn't want to fight Usyk right now, and he'll go unify with the belts he has left with Tyson Fury, and then the winner of that fight will fight Usyk because Usyk will be fighting for the vacant WBO title at that point.
Okay, so it's this whole bunch of clustering right now. Again.
But I just want to say one thing. Usyk showed a lot of heart by staying in that fight, but I don't think he solved enough problems or won decisively enough for me to say that he's at the top of the heavyweight division. He's definitely in my top 10 now, but I don't see him being able to solve the Tyson Fury problems and the Joshua problems. I think Povetkin and White would both be too much for him as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd have to. Well, see in the future. But we did have the uppercut of death this week.
Oh, my God. What do you think, that or the White Povetkin knockout? What was more devastating?
I don't know.
Pick your point. I'm going to take the Povetkin one because he was got dropped 2 times in round before. But good Lord, I thought both these guys were dead.
Yeah, Santa Cruz got up, though, after. It was nice to see. But it was a good fight till the knockout. What do you think?
I had Santa Cruz up 3-2 lead going into that round.
Yeah, I had him up winning. I don't know how many rounds, but I did have him winning probably around the same. Tank hits hard. We know that.
But here's my thing with this. People are saying Tank's pound for pound now. Yes, he beat a very, very elite fighter, just a guy just on the outside of the top 10 pound for pound in Santa Cruz. But let's not forget, he went down in weight to fight him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teofimo Lopez just beat Vasily Lomachenko. There's a difference here.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe if they don't do the rematch with Teofimo, maybe Tank versus Lomo.
That's the fight I've been clamoring for. I think that makes the most sense. Because I don't. Yeah, if Teofimo's not going to give him the immediate rematch, which we're not sure if he's going to right now, Tank has got the he's a superstar. Superstar before this fight, but now his skills are. We're buying into the fact that he actually is the fighter that Floyd's saying he is. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'm not too impressed with him, but even still.
He just beat a really, really good guy, man, in devastating fashion. You got to give him respect for that.
Yeah, I don't think he's beaten. That's a good win, but it's not pound for pound win.
No, I would say he's in my top 15, though. Tank's got to be in the top 15.
I'd say top 25, but okay.
We're pulling straws here, but yeah. So my point is, it makes sense because Lomachenko, if you beat Tank and you're Lomachenko, you get a title shot. That's the way it's going to be. If you're Gervonta Davis, beat Lomachenko, you're in the top 10 pound for pound.
True.
All right, what do
we got some. What do you want to talk about? We got some Bellator this weekend, right?
Anderson Silva.
Well, do you want to talk about the Bellator since first? Silva, yes. Our poor Anderson. There wasn't much on that card. What was the co-main event again?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I'm not sure. I actually have no idea. Huh?
What was it? Andre Fili versus Bryce Mitchell.
Right. Yes.
The camo shorts.
They look terrible. I mean, I'm glad he got them because he wanted them, but they didn't look good.
Yeah, he looked dominant, but Andre Fili landed a nice knee, actually flying knee in the face. You thought Fili was going to win, right?
You almost did it for me. You got close, man.
Yeah, so it also proved that Bryce Mitchell has a chin.
Yes.
So that was a huge key to the face. He looked good. It's good to see him back. He looked phenomenal. And in the main event, a primetime Hall versus Anderson Silva.
I told you.
But it was still a boring fight up to the knockout.
I didn't watch it. I just saw at the end that Silva's eyes looked like he got stung by bees. That's all I saw.
It was actually I honestly had it probably 3-1. Or sorry, I had it 2-1 going into the fourth for Silva.
And then what happened in that? Did he get just destroyed in that round?
No, he was winning the third round, and then he got dropped by Uriah Hall. And then he came out into the fourth round, and he was still hurt, and he just got tagged and dropped, and it was over.
Yeah, I'm the way I thought I was going to go. I thought he was going to get wheel kicked to the face and just be a meme for the rest of his life. 45-year-old Anderson Silva. But, I mean, let's be honest, man. Silva looked like he was in the best shape I've seen him in a long time.
He had abs.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be his last fight. I think you see him in Bellator.
Yeah, he was basically telling, I think it was Luke Thomas, don't quote me on this, but he was in an interview last week and saying, my fans are demanding I continue to fight. I don't care what your fans are demanding. I'm demanding you retire. We don't need it. We do not need to see you fight anymore. This is beyond, it's worse than what Roy Jones did to his legacy.
It's not in the BJ Penn realm, but it's bad.
It's worse than Roy Jones, man. Roy Jones was still winning fights at some point. Like, this guy hasn't beat somebody, and don't tell me about Derek Brunson.
Yeah, I guess that was a close fight.
Yeah. Anyways, it's sad to see. Hopefully, if he does decide to stick around, I hope Bellator just feeds him the guys that Michael Page is to be fighting.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight like a Vanderlei Silva or Vitor kind of thing.
As long as Vitor's not on the sauce, I'm good with that.
Absolutely. All right. So this weekend we got some Bellator. Let's just talk about the main event. And we got Aaron Pico, I think, fights this week too.
Yeah. So in the main event, I don't have the card pulled up, but we have Melvin Manhoef taking on Corey Anderson. How do you see that going?
We'll just talk about that fight. I honestly think I got Melvin Manhoef knocking him out in the first round.
How dare you? How old is Melvin Manhoef right now?
I think he's like 46. I know it sounds crazy, but it's an upset. Corey likes to stand on the feet lately, and when he uses his wrestling, and Manhoef is short, and he can catch him coming in. There's a size difference there. I just think that Corey's going to get caught, and if you look at one downfall in Corey's career, it's that he loses fights he should win, and he gets caught because he has no chin.
Dude, I'm pretty sure Melvin Manhoef, I could be wrong on this, was fighting during the UFC tournament days.
Yeah, he's been fighting since '96, I think.
It's a wrap. Corey Anderson is going to destroy this man. I'm saying first round TKO, absolute mismatch. I guess they're giving him Manhoef because Manhoef's got a bit of a name for like hardcore MMA fans, but this is a weird. I don't know. He just comes off of a loss to the UFC champion Jan Blachowicz. Before that, he fights Corey or Johnny Walker. He has a win against Jan Blachowicz, and he's I think Alir Latifi as well is in there, and he's fighting Melvin Manhoef. It's just weird. Yeah, it's gonna be dominant.
We'll see. I'm calling upset for some reason.
Holy smack! I would laugh so hard if Melvin Manhoef wins this fight. Okay, go.
All right, and then we have UFC this weekend. We're only going to talk about a couple of the fights.
First of all, I want to say shout out to Austin Vanderford, Mr. Van Zant, who's fighting as well on Thursday night. I also love that Bellator's doing these Thursday night cards. It just gives us something to do on Thursday night. It's great.
Yeah, I'm loving it too.
Okay, so this weekend's UFC, we got nothing gonna blow your socks off, but Claudia Gadelha taking on Yan Zhao Nan, I think. I'm always going to be happy with fights. Always.
And you're always happy watching Claudia, right?
I'm a fan. A bit of fan.
There you go. But Claudia should win this by unanimous decision. It's not going to look too, I don't know. It's just going to be a grapple fest.
Yeah, I hope she wins in dominant fashion. It'd be nice if that'd be a 2-fight win streak, I believe, for her, right?
3, I think.
She might get into that title conversation. If she wins dominant fashion, she's in the title conversation.
Yeah, again.
Okay, we got middleweight Ian Heinisch taking on Brendan Allen. Ian Heinisch, one of these guys that always gets forgotten about in middleweight. He's a solid guy.
He's a solid MMA fighter, but he's top 15. I think he's ranked number 15, or he was. He's fighting Brendan Allen, who was on the Contender Series, and I swear Brendan Allen, he should be the favorite in this fight. He will upset him with a unanimous decision.
Not familiar with Brendan Allen. I need to start watching the Contender Series. There's just so much going on. We got Bellator on Thursdays. Usually you got boxing and UFC on Saturdays. I don't have time to watch all this. But, I think Ian Heinisch. I always discredit Ian Heinisch. I think he gets it done. He's been impressing me as of lately.
Yeah, he has decent wins, but I think he gets the upset here.
Okay. This fight is just something not cool. Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky taking on Tanner Bulldozer Bozer.
Yeah, our good friend Tanner Bozer. It's like they like to feed Andre Arlovsky, these guys. He's like an Anderson Silva zone. Bozer should knock him out in the first round, let's be honest.
Okay, but you say that, but Arlovsky's been known to just these young guys that build up. Bozer, he's got potential, but he's an undersized heavyweight. If Arlovsky touches him, he knocks these guys out. That's what he does. He just knocks out these young dudes. But I'm not gonna put my money where my mouth is not picking on Andre Arlovsky. But don't be shocked if Arlovsky wins the fight. If it gets out of the first round, I think Arlovsky's a good chance to win.
Yeah, if it gets out of the first round. But who's your final prediction?
Tanner Bozer, first round.
You just did that. You were trying to save the legend.
I don't like seeing. I know Canadian. We had him on the show, a friend of the show. I just don't like seeing Andre Arlovsky get started. Man, I've watched this guy since I don't even know, like 7 years old or something.
He's fought everybody at heavyweight.
Yeah. Okay. I've been waiting for the return of this man for months. COVID's derailed fights. He had 2 broken knees. In my opinion, he beat John Jones. Marita Santos taking on Glover Teixeira. What do you got?
Glover's going to get starched.
Is he, though?
Yes.
Yeah, but we said the same thing with Anthony Smith. Look what he did.
I know. He keeps winning these fights that he shouldn't.
Dude, he's on like a 4-fight win streak, something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I know. But Santos is a different animal. At light heavyweight.
Here's my thing. If Santos is recovered from his injuries, which I think days of the fight getting postponed because of COVID is doing him justice by letting his knees heal more, then Thiago destroys. If he's 75% of what he was during the John Jones fight, he destroys Teixeira.
Yeah, for sure. This depends on what shows up.
But that's a big if. Those are serious injuries. This is a long layoff.
Yeah, if Glover takes him down, which I don't know who the bigger guy is. It could be a long night for Thiago.
I think Glover's the bigger guy. Thiago came up from middleweight.
Yeah, that's why I said he's the bigger guy.
But I'm gonna go. I think he gets it done in devastating fashion. I'm gonna go second round knockout.
All right, second round sounds good. Yeah, I'll go second round TKO for Thiago Hussein.
Glover can take a beating. We've seen even that Anthony Smith fight. Anthony was beating the shit out of him for a round and a half, and he was just eating it.
I thought you were going to say Anthony Johnson. I was like, that wasn't quick. That was quick.
No.
I was demolished.
Okay.
What do we got?
What's your final?
Second round knockout, Thiago Santos.
Yes. Okay, me too. And the last thing we got to touch on before we wrap it up here. Devin Haney's taking on Yuriorkis Gamboa on, I believe it's Saturday night. He's defending his WBC title that he was given because they made Lomachenko the franchise champion. I don't know, man. Gamboa just went 10 rounds on a torn Achilles with Gervonta in December. What do you think?
Haney should win pretty easy.
The thing about, I think what they're trying to do here is they're going to try and starch him with in like 5 or 6 and be like, "Oh, look what we did." It took Tank 10 rounds and he had one leg.
Yeah, but I just think Haney's gonna take this soul.
I hope he does. I mean, it's
I
time
don't
for your. You don't like Haney?
No, talks too much shit.
Yeah, he's kind of the odd man out right now with the Ryan Garcias, the Teofimos. He's kind of like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because they handed him that title. It just turned me off. I don't dislike him as a fighter, but I just discredit him because the way he won his belt it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, he starches them.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Huh?
He gets a little respect this weekend.
Okay, that'd be the first big name on his resume.
For sure. I would like to see him and Ryan Garcia.
We'll see what happens this weekend. We got Ryan Garcia taking on Luke Campbell. That's a serious fight coming up as well.
That's a tough fight for him.
Yeah. Okay, before we get out of here, I want to let you guys know, Tuesday, I'm interviewing Rafael Lovato Jr., so stay tuned for that. It should be out either Tuesday night or Wednesday afternoon. Very excited for that. I got a lot of questions, and I'll definitely get that out as soon as I can. So stay tuned for that.
I can't wait for that episode.
It'll be good.
And we're out.